Good night, good night, good night, ladies and gentlemen. Let me welcome you to this another episode of the Saudichress show. Actually, I think this is episode 31, and we are actually taking our time. We are moving. This show has been growing, ladies and gentlemen, day by day, night by night. And so, again, let me welcome you all, and let me give a special welcome to all our first-time viewers. And I hope you continue to be with us on the Saudichress show, whether it be a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday night, people. This is where you will get all the information on sports, entertainment, and education. As it says, for those who just joining us, thank you very much for hitting the like button and also for subscribing. I must also say to you that on a Wednesday, we dedicate Wednesday for educational content. And so whether you are sports fanatic or you're in the line of education or entertainment as it is, whichever night you join, you will get nothing less. Full information, strategic planning as it relates to going forward. So it has been a long day, and I want to say, let me also apologize for the late start. And with this in mind, people, I must say to you, I've just communicated with my guest, and unfortunately, he will be late. A matter of fact, I'm sure that you all been waiting to hear from no other than our own JTA Deputy Secretary General. A very, very big position that we want to know his role and responsibilities and what he has been doing over the past couple of months. You know what's happening with the JTA. You know what's happening with the Ministry of Finance and also the public sectors. Right now, as we speak, I don't know if it is fortunate or unfortunate, but he is still at the Ministry of Finance, still dealing with negotiation issues. And so he has been there since evening. Hope that he would have gotten through earlier. So he has promised to join later. Anyhow, this is the nature of it, and we do understand the nature. That's how it goes, especially for those persons who are in this position. They work day in, night out. So, of course, we'll be waiting for Mr. Clayton Hall. And since it is so, for now, I'll just see how best I can take you through just a few matters as it relates to education. And people, I begged of you, please share in the discussion. There are live participation via WhatsApp call. So you can call 501-6625 for your contribution. Or you could also, in the chat, type your information, your questions, your suggestion, whatever you want to say. That can also be typed in the chat. But people, as you know, it's very, very important to have you participate. Just listening to Saudi alone, very, very difficult. And I know sometimes I can be very boring. That's the nature of life. And so you have to help me to spice up this show. And so let me say thank you again. Now, just to start a little bit, and if you have any experienced teachers out there who are listening, who are viewing, you could just come and share with us. When I say experience, I just want us to have a little pre-conversation of what you believe this whole negotiation has offered. What do you understand from the negotiation package? As you know that this is where the government, from time to time, a matter of fact over the years, through some agreement with the IMF, they have said that they need to realign all public sector workers. And so this is one of the aspects of it, where their alignment, the negotiation as it relates to realignment of salaries and allowances too, to make Jamaica a more profitable country. Should I say more economically stable country? That's how they see it. That's how the Ministry of Finance see it. But let me tell you the truth. As for me, I'm not too sure what we are up against. I'm not too sure how much personally I will benefit. I'm not sure how much you will benefit. Maybe, just maybe, there are some categories of workers in the education system may very well benefit a lot. So until then, and this is where it's very, very important that we get persons who are at the table with the government to have such discussion. So we have not written off Mr. Hall yet. So we continue to look out and wait for him. Even if we get him tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and via phone, that would be good. But he has promised that he will join. And you know, this is Saudichress, and we continue to ask, we continue to hunt for these people. Because we need the information out there. We need the knowledge. We need to know. We just don't want to keep saying things that we are not sure about. I, for one, I don't speak on matters that I don't sure. If it is unsure for me, I'll leave it alone. I hope you understand that. All right? So, tonight, we just want to take a few things, into this aspect of the, what would you say now, the education aspect of Jamaica. Where do we stand in Jamaica, people? Where do we stand in our education system? Tomorrow will be the first paper of the PEP for our primary grade 6 students. Okay? Our primary, just a minute, people. Just 1 second. Let me address something on the outside. 1 second, please.
Hello, hey! Miss Bartender! Hello?
All right, people, sorry, my apology for that break in transmission. There are just some nice issues that I have that I went to address. All right, so I was saying in education, tomorrow we really want to, we want to say, all the best to our grade 6 students who will be sitting the first of 3 papers for their PEP exam. And with that in mind, there was always a drawback, a certain issue that as it relates to our situation and also our, what would I say now, our students sitting these exams. Again, just a second. Yes. So I was saying, really and truly, people, the students from time to time would have been preparing for these papers. But we are still not out of the situation as it relates to what the pandemic has offered. We are still struggling as a country in education because, as it relates to even resources, people, remember our students and teachers have been displaced for almost 2 years. And so it would not, I'm saying this, people, and I'm saying this without an apology. You may not agree with me, but don't you believe that we will correct all this situation in 1 year? We have lost a year and a half, you probably could say 2 years of face-to-face education, where a number of our students were displaced. A number of our students, ladies and gentlemen, were not able to attend classes. Why? The issue of face-to-face, or the lack thereof, the issue of technology, or the lack thereof. These were situations that put us in a bind, right? And so we have to really be careful how we look at it. And parents, I will say to you, be patient. And in exercising patience, you also need to work very, very hard with your students. Yes, you must do. So, saying that to say we have met a number of challenges for this school year. First and foremost, I must say, the lack of resources, people. The lack of resources in our schools are very, very tight. It's very hard to deal with. And so I can tell you, we have to give thanks and respect to our classroom teachers. They have made it, what would I say now? It's a miracle sometimes. It's really a miracle. It's making bread out of stones. And I'm saying this to say, in the classroom, which many of you are aware, but sometimes some of us fail to believe that it is really happening. Our teachers here in Jamaica, in the Jamaican system, have been using their own resources in an effort to ensure that our students learn. Yes, and I'm sure for those of you on the chat, you could in the chat type your comments. If you want to share your experience with us as a teacher, you can call. As again, the number is 501-6625. It is the harsh reality that we face. It is the harsh reality that our schools, and by extension, the education system in Jamaica is under-resourced. Now, if, and I'm just using the word if, not too sure if the government can really do better. Not sure. But what I would love to see is that the government speak to us. The Minister of Education, the Ministry of Education, come clearly and state what are the issues. Yes, we know that we are strapped for funds in Jamaica. Yeah, generally, we know that. Not just education, I believe, is under resource. But I have to speak. That's where I am. That's a profession to which I am a part of. And even when other profession or other ministry are far less than I am or we are, I will continue. I will continue to beg for more. Of course, I mean, I must say this, I am really, a little bit selfish sometimes. Like all of us are. We need to really speak out on what we see and what we want. So, saying that to say, I am hoping that these grade 6 students gotten a chance to prepare. I know the teachers have been working overtime, ensuring that these students get as much as there is for them to do their exams. All right. Again, you have heard in the news, people, quite a number of challenges, more so violent conduct in our schools. Yes, a whole lot. But where do it start? I mean, where did this whole thing started? Would love to know. We have seen students being very violent in our schools. We have seen even teachers get involved in violent conducts. But, it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done that these are not belong to school situation. For example, just recently, a little infant, and I'm saying, and I'm using it infant, which I am cannot, to the life of me, I am unsure, people, if this little infant is really an infant, is really the age group that we are talking about. That child couldn't be more than 5 years old. I don't think that child is more than 5. It is for 5-year-old or less. Probably that child is 3, 4. I know what these teachers are about. I know that they try their very best, but look at it for those of you who have seen it before. And I will not promote it because I will not play back that video. But to see the teacher, a mature woman, big woman, trying to get this little boy under control, you see the anger coming out of that child. You have seen it. You heard how he behaves. What is happening, people? Is this a situation that we would love for every single one of us to be in? Talk to me. The child was, I don't know. I have some things on my mind, but I don't want to speak everything. I don't want to say what I have on my mind as it relates to that situation. But there are many, many others. There's one other disturbing one as it relates to a teacher flogging a child. Another 3 or 4-year-old child being punished, hitting the child on the sole of his feet. And that was also an infant situation. In my view, what has gone wrong? I don't know. But what could have led to an adult? What could have led to the adult doing such a thing? Oh boy, I tell you. It's so much. But, it's what it is, and we need to work very hard to get, some stability. We need to work hard to get some stability in our education system. We have also seen a male teacher chasing a young boy right around the classrooms. Yes, in and out of the classroom. And even offer some levels of threat. But I'm saying, I'm not defending the teacher, But tell me, how many of us out there are willing to say that they would be able to hold back? These students that we have these days, they are very challenging. Yes, they are. And it takes a whole lot. People, you can just imagine, after you have, use much of your night when you should be resting, preparing for a lesson, preparing for a class the following day. And that level of disturbance. And then sometimes, people, the hardest part of it to contain or to get into this situation, you have never ever seen the full videos of what took place. Never. And so we just use our own views to make a determination, to conclude what we believe should have happened or had happened. No. But I have one suggestion, one proposal to the Ministry of Education. Only one. As it relates to these violence and these videos, so to speak, that happen in class or in schools. Help the schools to install video cameras or surveillance cameras in and around the compound, even in the classrooms. So when these things happen, we just get a little clip that goes to TikTok or somewhere else. Good night, Mr. Donaldson. Yes, man, Mr. Donaldson, the first man out of the blocks in the chat. There's no consequence for their actions. I have zero tolerance to indiscipline. Of course, I agree with you, sir. If I should rate myself as a teacher, as it relates to discipline, 10 out of 10. I have no space, no room, no corner, not even a chalk box for indiscipline. Absolutely not. And I'm telling you the truth, Jamaica. I'm telling you the truth, everyone, whether you are in Jamaica or overseas, right now, as I speak, there are certain situations that I have seen happening in some schools. There are some situations that I have seen happening on the road with some students. I will not take it. No. And so maybe I have to just say, thank God. Where I am, and we continue to pray for others, the other teachers, the other principals, the other school boards who have these issues to deal with on a regular basis. But then, so many times, people, just like what I believe happen generally in our society, some of these things are 9 days wonder. It come out, all right, let's put something for example. Look at any one of these issues that we have seen since September. When it went viral via TikTok, the Ministry of Education at some point make a public address. But afterwards, there is nothing else to say. Well, the situation is full under control, and so everything is normal. This is what we have done. This is what we have been trying to do. In recent time, the Ministry of Education, through the minister, I think launched a program, a little jingle thing, competition among students in an effort to stop violence in school. Now, I don't know. Maybe it takes a lot of money. But if that is the case, people, from the implementation of the competition, yes, to the competition itself, and to the results. These situations should be televised, eh? And I say televised, I put it out there in the media, not the print media. Believe it or not, there are so many things that are in the print media that has been gone unnoticed. Many of us don't have the time to read. Remember, the technology is at our fingertip. And if you put it out there on YouTube, even use the same platform, TikTok, to send out those positive messages. I believe TikTok is a great tool. Just that we use it in some ways just for entertainment and slackness. Forgive me if I'm too harsh, TikTok people. But if you should send out those jingles that students have done, or even the competition, during the competition, send them out on TikTok. I believe it would have gone a far way. I will say to my colleague teachers, principals, board members, education officers, all the other persons in the hierarchy of the education ministry, let us now start to use these social media platforms as a positive tool, or as positive tools. Let us go ahead of those persons who use it to advertise a negative influence on our society and our schools. So when we have something good going on, use TikTok, use WhatsApp, use Facebook, send them out. Not once, not twice, but it means every day. Can we in Jamaica, based on what I'm seeing from TikTok, only negative things I've seen TikTok carry through to the schools, or from the schools. But can we now overtake the negative TikTokers, if that is the name? Use it, man. Put out our educational content out there. There's another food for thought. I've seen where the Ministry of Education has done a remarkable job over the 2.5 years. Yes, remarkable job. They have committed to put educational content on our television stations for all levels. Wonderful. And I hope this thing continues throughout. It's very, very important. But I will add to that. Most of us, Madam Minister, I'm going to say this, and to all my friends in the Ministry of Education, if you should send those same information via TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they will be more than well received. All our students are using social media. I can say during the lockdown, WhatsApp was one of our favorite teaching tools. Gadgets, I can tell you that, people. Why? Because not just they gravitate to the content on WhatsApp, but because that is what they are always on. So because they're always using the phones, people. The students are always using the phones. So a message come, beep. They take a look. What's that? Coming from a class teacher, eh? And you see the point is now, they can't hide it, They can't say they never get the information because it have showed that it was read. So, I'm just using this as a platform as it comes to me, and to be honest with you, we need to just find a little way to get past the negative issues, especially those that affect our students and our schools. Now, as it relates to the current situation. You know, I can tell you, people, a lot of public sector workers are one of two views they have. One, they don't even care what the government do. They don't even care about their different agents or their different associations. And there are some who are looking forward for a better compensation package. Yes, they are. The whole salary realignment that is being offered by the government of Jamaica. Yes, personally, I'm not even sure if I will be more, or if I will be benefiting, or if it will be beneficial to me. I am not sure. And so I am still at a loss. I am still seeking the information. And so this is one reason why, I really decided to take along or to ask somebody from the Jamaica Teachers Association. As a matter of fact, let me just take time out to big up our Madam President of the JTA, Sis Harrison. At some point, I hope we'll have her gracing the show on different matters, People, there's a lot of things to talk about as it relates to education and educational personnel. A whole lot. But the buzz part of this now, the buzz. Believe it or not, people, some of you might just shake it off. But the reality of the situation, the teachers, and I say the teachers because I am a teacher and we're looking at that as an educational aspect. But I can go further to say all public sector workers. We saw yesterday where the personnel from the RGD were on strike. RGD. So there were persons there, young mothers who wanted to get their little children, their young babies' birth certificates, or were unable to. Because the workers from RGD were on strike. Isn't that interesting? I believe, though, I really believe that this whole compensation package and negotiation has been going for too long. For all the unions and associations not to reach an agreement with the government. Or maybe it's the other way around. The government is taking far too long to reach an agreement with the public sector unions. And whereas the government in their own rights, people, in their own rights, give the public sector workers a package, they know that there will be some level of negotiation, right? So they are in their own right to do that, But my God, I would love to know what is the final package that has been given out to teachers. The last time I heard, the JTA is about a 10-point gap. There's a 10-point gap between the ministry and the teachers JTA. There are some issues in that alignment that the JTA say no, the teachers would not be better off, they'd be worse off. And if it is even 1,000 points, there can't be 1 point from that 1,000 where teachers will be worse off. It can't be. So, we are listening, and at present, based on the information I gathered from Mr. Clayton Hall, they are still in a meeting. Maybe they have left with the Ministry of Finance. So the negotiation continues, people. Oh boy. You know, I must read a text. I just received a text from a friend or colleague. I won't call any name. And the person never want to put it in the chat, I suppose. But let's leave a part of it. He said that the minister said that it is already budgeted, and so we must hurry because it can't be paid in the next financial year. You see what happened? That is a statement from the ministry. This is the Minister of Finance. So it doesn't matter what the unions or the associations are claiming that they are fighting for or negotiating. We will have to accept what they are given. And if it is, you know what is interesting, people? If this negotiation continues and by May or the end of April, there's no agreement. You know that all these teachers and other persons who have not yet signed will not get or will not be realigned. But if they don't realign, if they are not realigned after or before the financial year starts, is it mean that the things that they want to take away from what we have, especially the allowances, will be removed? Because it must go on, the show must go on. If the budget is what they are working on, whatever proposal that they have in terms of minimizing or minus or take away from what the present situation is, it can't go over to the next financial year either. I wonder if that makes sense. Let me hear what Tamika Hall is saying. Good night. Unfortunately, we focus too much on what is happening in the classroom, and we have become blindsided to the fact that the homes are in deep trouble. We need to work on family values. So true, Tamika. And if I may, working on family values now, whose responsibility is it? Are you pushing that responsibility on the teachers, Tamika? Are you putting the responsibility on the Ministry of Education? But as you mentioned that though, we are woefully short in all departments of the Ministry of Education. We need more guidance counselors. We need social workers. So there you go. We are focusing on classrooms without all of these personnel. You know, I can say something that a lot of Jamaicans don't know, and a lot of persons who believe they knew what's happening in our school system. There are many schools in Jamaica today who are without a guidance counselor. There's also, in the Ministry of Education, more so Region 6 that I am a part of. Oh my God, we need help. We need help, people. Region 6, I think only have 1 or 2 social workers. And if my memory serves me right, probably 3 guidance counselors as education officers. And those 5 personnel, if you want to put them there, and don't quote me on the numbers, and I'm sure it's not more than 5, but it can be less. And those 5 personnel, those officers, they are the one who will supervise the numerous schools in Region 6. Yes. And Region 6 has a lot of schools, A whole lot. I can tell you. So Donaldson again, yup. Too much pressure on teachers. The homes are what they are because too many parents are either absent or they just don't know how to raise their children because they themselves are kids. I can use that point to have another level of discussion, Mr. Donaldson. I can. Because, sir, if you should check, many of us know in our situation, where we are at now in our levels, some of us had teenage parents. Yes, some of us had teenage parents. And those kids were well raised. One of the things is not so much the parenting is so much of the problem. Yes, it is, but what is the root of the problem? Is the morals. Our morale is far, far too low. And because our morale is low, the morals, don't get me right, don't get me wrong. Morals and morals. So you find that in a particular community, when I was growing up, a man is a man and a woman is a woman. A mother is a mother and a father is a father. So there you as a child believe that because it's not your mother or your father, you can get away or do as you like as a child. There's an old saying that it takes a village to raise a child. Yes. It takes a village to raise a child. That is no longer in. No longer. So, what I am simply saying, Mr. Donaldson, I believe, yes, far too many teenage kids, parents. But I am saying, I have known persons today who were raised by teenage mothers. All right. But then again, goes to show, if the government of the day is not proactive, not just by speaking people, but acting, we could get some things to change. Look at education. When you talk about students failing, it's easy to blame the schools or the teachers. Yes. However, students are not just failing from schools, They're not just failing the math, the language and science and so on. They're failing the basic values of life. Basic values. Socialization is no more a part of growing up, based on what we are seeing. You now tell a 12-year-old just going to high school, he or she may, be calm and follow your instructions. But as soon as that child reach and get into teenage life and start to seeing things differently, now that's where parenting comes in now. That's where the values that were taught earlier in their lives would have played an important role in the development of the same child. Denton, kids are having kids. Denton, you want to join us tonight? If you want to join us, man, and give me a little thing, a long time you want to join the Saudichress show in a Denton, just let me know. All right? Yes, Denton, kids are having kids. But Denton, the fact of the matter, kids are having kids long time before you and I were born. So the situation is now exists. What is it that we can do? That's where it is now, It makes no sense go back to say kids having kids anymore because that has been going on for a long time. Century ago, if not centuries. But the point I'm trying to make, who has the responsibility to curb these children? Who have the responsibility to curb the community? Who have the responsibility to ensure that these teenage mothers get some level of opportunity so they can raise their children? Because the fact of the matter is, they are teenage mothers, yes. It can't change. It will never change. Doesn't matter how we talk. All we have to do is act. But the fact is, similarly, when you put measures in place to either curb your businesses or your homes, your lifestyle, this is what we need to put measures in place to curb these situations. And it's always going to be a very good excuse. Gonna be a very good excuse. Oh, the people they now come from now. The people them have no parents. Yes, we know that. But I am calling on the powers that be to put or to effect more resources, more human resources per se, in our educational system. Mr. Donaldson, easy, Well, all right. So let me hear what Mr. Donaldson is now saying. Well, technology has its negative. We were not exposed from an early age. Enough of our grandparents grew us. It's a totally different time we're living in. Yes, man, you're right, boss. You are so right, Mr. Donaldson. You are so right, sir. Technology has its negative. Some time ago, I brought about a debate, a topic, Sometime maybe over 12 years ago, people. Long time. Maybe 20 years ago. Yes. We're having a youth summer camp back in North Clarendon. And there's this one topic that we look at it or debating. And the topic was, or the mood, is technology more good than bad? That's how it was stated then. Okay? 20 years ago that, Can we use that same topic now? And it was amazing to see the findings. Yes, then. So yes, there's a lot of negatives in technology, but people, if we get the proper guidance, if we are proper guided with these technology, trust me, we could be one of the most brilliant society, the brilliant country on earth, Jamaica. Yes, we could. But gone are the days when we really believe that, teacher must teach and parents must parent. We're all in it. We're all in it. It's a full combination. It's a full combination, people. Again, for those of you who have not yet subscribed, please do so you could participate in the chat. Yes? And as you do, please hit the like button. All right? Please hit the like button. Now, again, I really want to, say big thank you to our sponsors. Our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen, who continue to assist the Saudichress show in a whole lot of ways. As you all know, sponsorship is very, very important. Very, very important. So, we want to say thank you. Thanks again to our sponsors who continue to share with us, not just in their sponsorship, but also in the different shows, the nightly shows. And I hope that you continue. So, again, for now, let me just say thank you very much, PIBA, the Pasadena Ballers Association, Toad and Nose Heating and Cooling System, coming out of New York. Dallas Harris Fine Cut Barbering, coming out of California. Yes, we also have Taste of the Island Restaurant, coming out of St. Petersburg, managed by Leo Packer Anderson. Solid Rock Block Factory, managed by Fitzroy Wazim Thomas, out of Maypen. Deja Vu Retro Party, Chris Williams, the Party Gargan, from Summerfield. Satisfaction Entertainment and Electronics, yes, coming out of Ochiroyas. Juki's Shipping from New York. Asdes VIP Services, also coming from Colorado, Denver. We have Basil Conway Gale, out of New York. Gregory Mesa. These are some of our sponsors, people, and we continue to say thank you as we move towards building our channel, the Saudichress channel. And so this is where you get your information on sports, entertainment, and education. All right, again, people, if you're just joining in, let me just apologize for the absence right now of our guest, Mr. Clayton Hall, Deputy Secretary General of the Jamaica Teachers Association, who says he will be coming on, never mind how late, but he will still come on to address us. All right? So, as we continue now more in the chat, so we are saying, people, first timers, you need to subscribe so you can participate. All right, so on the values of those people, so I mean, just to look at that situation where you have, real struggles with our parenting, but the biggest struggles are the resources that are put out there for us. All right, that's one of my main troubles. So Tamika, too many parents are afraid of their children. Social media is more influential than the parent in many of the homes. Oh my God. We say that's Americanized. Our first world country. Yes, the homes. Tamika, you're right. But, I mean, why do parents have to be afraid of their children, by the way? Why? I mean, I don't think there are any reasons why you should be afraid of your child, unless you are up to doing something wrong. Let me fully understand that. Back in the days, is the child or the children afraid of the parents, So the roles, I guess the roles and responsibilities are changed. They change for the worse. Oh my God. They change for the worse, Tamika. I don't understand, but it's a reality. Yes, it's a full reality of that. All right, so let's take on another aspect of our educational system. All right, people, there's a lot of information out there, and I will ask that persons who are interested in learning of how the education ministry operates in our country, you could visit the Ministry of Education website. It's www.moe.gov.jm. Yes. Go there And you have different aspect of it. All right? So, I want to share something with you people that it has been going on for a few years now, but I am not too sure. And I'm telling you this, I am not too sure that many of our teachers or students, and also our students, buy into this aspect. Now there is what we say now, a library, some resources as it relates to the Ministry of Education, and they have ebooks that they put out that many of our teachers, students would have gotten access to these ebooks. It's very, very important that the parents, all right, let me start over. Very important that the teachers engage their students and their parents, right, into the use of these books. All right? So there's this one aspect of the resource, people, book fusion, right? And if you go to the ministry website and you click on resources, you will see it there. So there's a number of books that you can access. You have the Cheetah Pep practice questions. These are math practice books. You have the ability practice papers, the science practice questions, right? And even as far as or as low as the early childhood information, you can get it there. Yes? And so with that, I will try my very best to get somebody from the media services in the Ministry of Education to speak about this. So that's one other note that I will make. People need to know, we just don't want to publicize the bad things that are happening in our system, So this is another thing, people. I am not my intention at all. Never my intention to publicize or to bring to light the negative things that are happening in the Ministry of Education or in our school system for that matter. So I want you to take good note of this one. We at the Ministry of Education, or we in the schools, we have benefited from a lot of videos, other content from ebooks, book fusion as it is, under the resource aspect of the Ministry of Education. So that's a library, or libraries. So you could join the library, people. All right? So what I'm simply saying to you, what I'm simply saying to you, I've spoke about the lack of resources in our schools. But I also want to highlight to you the other resources that are existed. All right? So that's a part of it. Not gonna leave it, not gonna say, well, nothing is happening. No. I'm not saying that. We all know that things are happening. But we just have to call a spade, and we look at those things. All right? So I am saying that from the early childhood straight through to, I think, the secondary level, straight up to grade 11, you'll have those information that you can gather. All right, people? Well, I want to tell you, one of the things that I want to say, though, Tamika and Donaldson. You see, here in Jamaica, many of our parents, they don't have an idea of what's going on in the schools. There are some parents, and some people might beat me bad for this, but why I differ? There are some parents who even go into and attending PTAs. They just go to PTA for attendance. More so in the rural area, people. And I'm calling on the schools, I'm calling on the parents of the schools in rural Jamaica play a greater role in your child's education, in your child's school life. Play a greater role. There are some schools that don't have space to keep PTA big like graduation, and there are others. I tell you, you can count on one hand number of parents who attended PTA meetings and other important meetings. So these are some little things that, contribute and will continue to contribute to the life of the child, because let me tell you something. Every single school would love to have their parents interacting with their programs. Every school. And the Ministry of Education is really driving that. Why? You know that there's a parent center division, if I may call it that way. A division in the Ministry of Education who is looking at schools to have a parent center. Yes, a physical parent center. What is it that they're saying? That there's a place at the school, there's a physical space at the school that belongs to our parents. And if that's what we are creating, if that's what we are trying to put out there, people, there should be no need for parents to withhold themselves from the physical aspect of a school. Yes? But is it possible? And I'm going to ask this openly. Is it possible for we to engage these parents remotely? Is it possible? Yes, it is. Because I can say, especially for my school, while the students were unable to attend classes, and I'm going to give you this joke. While the students were unable to attend classes because of lack of data or lack of devices, I remember I had a parent-teachers meeting, and that was online. And trust me, the attendance of the PTA was much greater than that of the classes. Yes. Why is that so? Because the parents are also interested in technology, And I believe what had happened throughout the length of breadth of Jamaica is that parents were able to find themselves online with meetings because they want to experience the technological aspect of learning and communication. So it's not all the parents are really bad. It's not that. It's just that some of them don't have the drive. Yes, they don't have the drive. So this is where, the different entity, the social workers, the different counselors really need to be on board. Really need to be on board. All right? So, again, it's very, very important that we continue to share our pluses, our positive influences on our school life. I'm encouraging all the teachers who are here tonight. Let us use TikTok. Let us use TikTok as a teaching tool. Yes, let us see if we can take over TikTok as educational, content-driven resource or content-driven platform. I think that is a better word. Let us try our best in that regards. I think we're having a little issue here with that. All right. So it is very important. All of these things can be done. It can be done. But who knows? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here, people? So while we do that, let's see what happened. So we want to maximize all the importance, maximize all the effort, so we can have our school system grow from strength to strength. All right. So we have now 9:41. Still haven't got any word from Mr. Hall. Hold on a second, please. All right. So, as we are on that though, people, again, I just want to take the time out to, sort out our sponsors. Yes. And we will do that in a little while. But, as I'm saying to you, we need to understand that. We need to see how best we can. And just take a little minute or two for some advertisement. Okay?
And I was like, what if I can't find anywhere that can make me feel like I'm in Jamaica? And to my surprise, just like I'm in my kitchen with my mangoes and my banana and my breadfruit. Look here. You can get these kind of breadfruit. See here? The sweet potato, and the yam and all that sort of thing. You can get them same place in St. Petersburg. And you can get everything under one roof. Where can you go? Taste of the Islands. Taste of the Islands supermarket and restaurant. And you see like how gas prices that go up and go up and go up and up to and come back down, Try to do everything under one roof. You can send your JN money transfer there. Yes, man. And top up your family overseas with their flow and them digital credit. What you say? You never know. Taste of the Islands 72732141557. Exciting thing that you can't eat same place. So let's say you go there and you feel like a peckish. Then pop nice scrumptious meals and you can get all your nice cut off meals. Your chicken, your goat, your oxtail, your pork, everything. Let me say everything under one. They move. They know. If you're sending barrel, they do barrels too. Yes, they do shipping to the Caribbean. Call them man or visit their website to look at all their services. www.toti.com. Toti.com. Yes, man. Taste of the Islands. You get it? Yes. Call them at 727-873-7559. Tell them see the schedule. Let's go again. 727-873-7559. Toti. Taste of the Islands.
Yes, so that is the Taste of the Island restaurant. Yes, and managed and owned by Leo Packer Anderson. So that is, one of our sponsors, and we continue to say a big thank you to them. Yes, big thank you. Because, without them, people, trust me, doesn't matter what we say. The business have to go on, right? And they sponsors different aspect of the show, So big up yourself, Taste of the Island. Big up yourself, Del Cita, our own comedian, big and large out there. All right, I know Del Cita watching, so she probably must be laughing, But all right, so people, on another note, though, I'm trying to get a final say from Mr. Hall to find out the position. So let me see what's happening. Oh Lord. But people, I promise though, if Mr. Hall doesn't make it tonight, maybe if it is promised to be out or be in for tomorrow, we may have this repeat show tomorrow. because it's very important that we get Mr. Hall in. You know, it is very, very important. We know how delicate these negotiations are. We know that. So we just want to get that out of the way. All right. So let me see one last text. Oh my God. One last text. All right. So that's how it is, you know. Unfortunately, but seems like he's not responding.
Shipping and delivery. There.
Come on, never ask you to play. All right. So, these are some situations, people, that from time to time, and you know, I try my very best to get these people in. However, you know, that is a sort of sad story sometimes when people are very busy and they have to do the nature of the job that they does. You know, it takes in a lot of patience, you know, from time to time, and it wouldn't be of any, what would I say, you know, significance for him to put away those negotiations tonight to join us until he is finished. However, we all understand it wasn't planned for, but this is the nature of it, and let's see what happened later on. All right. So yes, in the chat we have Tamika Hall. My mother was a single mother with 2 kids, 2 girls. She ensured she was at every PTA. Even when she was tired, she kept in touch with most teachers just so she would know what is happening to us. Very so true, Tamika. And that's what I'm saying. Touching base. And then again too, as I said before, there are some levels of, how would you put it now? People are not too sure of what's happening. And because they are not too sure, they don't quickly get into the nature of these things. You understand? And until we can do that, we will not be sure of what's happening. So, yes, in order to save the children, we have to work as a team. When a child knows that they can't speak negatively about either party, it makes a difference. I have tested and proven that. Hey, let me tell you, man. You see what happened to most of us, Tamika? We tend to hide the truth. Yes, we hide the truth, and because we are afraid of what you said, some of us afraid of our children, but we are afraid of what other people will say too. Not just our children. Yes, we are afraid of what other people will say. And that's why we are moving like that, you know. That is the reason why we are moving like that. It's not that we are afraid just of our children, but we're afraid of what other people will say. And it can't be, it shouldn't be. Remember, in every way you go, you know, you'll have negativity, you know. And you can't be afraid of what people think about you or what people will say. All right? Again, let me just take another one.
Barrels and boxes. Junkie's shipping and delivery. Barrels and boxes.
So people, that's Junkie's shipping, all right? You know, delivery and barrels and boxes coming out of New York, you know. 646-316-9953, that's your contact number for Junkie's shipping. Right, and so we continue to say kudos to our sponsors, people. So we're looking at, we're still on education, not sure how much longer we will go for tonight. However, it's gone an hour and 15 minutes now into the show, and it's really not easy, not to plan for a solo show and to continue in this light. But I continue to say thank you very much to all of you who join and who continue to join. So let me hear it again from our last sponsor for the night.
25 Smith Lane, Juno Crescent, Maypen. Call us now.
Solid
for the
Rock
best of the
Block
best.
Factory.
We also offer flyboards and forms for rent.
So this is Solid Rock Block Factory, people, coming out of Maypen, 25 Smith Lane to be exactly, Juno's Crescent, Maypen, and it is managed by the man they call Wazim Fitzroy Wazim Thomas. So Solid Rock Block Factory.
25 Smith Lane, Juno Crescent, Maypen. Call us now for the best of the best. We also offer flyboards and forms for rent.
So
Solid Rock Block.
again, thank you very much to our sponsor. These are our 3 sponsors for tonight's show, and we continue. So each show you'll have different sponsors coming out, people, and we have other layouts, we have other areas and space for new sponsors or new sponsorship for the Saudichress show. All right, so again, people, thank you very much for joining us, and I promise you, look out very soon where we'll have Mr. Clayton Hall. We continue to strive for excellence. We continue to defend our teachers, the rights of our teachers, people. We continue to defend the rights of our children. We continue to ensure that our schools are properly manned. Our schools are properly resourced. It's not easy, but without a fight, nothing is possible. So this is the Saudichress show. This is where we leave you. And remember, please like, share, and also subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much for joining us. And my deepest apology to you for waiting so long for the absence of Mr. Clayton Hall. But I'm sure, look out, maybe you'll have to join us tomorrow night to have Mr. Hall, because this is a matter that must be dealt with, people. And so thank you very much again for your continued support. Have yourselves a wonderful night. This is where we leave you.